My name is Sandra Ryan, and I am married to a chiropractor here in Bakersfield, California. We have 3 girls, and we have went out of our way to try and raise our kids as naturally as possible. And by that I mean they were raised in Montessori schools, which Montessori is just a different kind of hands-on teaching. But what I found there is in the Montessori schools, our children weren't the only children that didn't have ding-dongs and sodas and Twinkies in their lunch. And to us, that's important, because I found out early that children really do, they learn what they live. And if you don't have that stuff all around your house, if you don't constantly hang out with other families that, junk food and the drive-through is the biggest thing in their weekly routine, it's amazing. Your children honestly will pick up on what you teach them. And from the time that they were very little, we always, especially me, always went out of my way to tell them, we don't eat there. It's not good food. It's bad for you, honey. And it just, I constantly was on my kids, and I just didn't just say no, but I tried to help them to understand why it's a no. That, that's not good quality. They're not going to cook it like mom. They're not going to buy the best quality ingredients, and they don't care about, what your body looks like in 1 year, 10 year, 20 years, or what your heart or your insides look like. So we just kind of made a routine in our house that Sunday through Thursday, we would try and be more strict and disciplined, from cutting out the TV from Sunday night to Thursday, there was no TV watching in the house. And it just comes to a lifestyle, I figured if kids they're not going to rush through their homework and say that they need to hurry up and do it, or that it's already done so that they can sit down and watch a program. If they know it's not there, it's amazing how creative they will get to entertain themselves. So they already knew that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you weren't going to watch TV. So I didn't have to tell my kids to get a book because they were bored and they would get one. I didn't have to tell my kids to go outside and play because they already knew. I didn't have to tell my kids that, if you're hungry, come and get this out of the freezer or out of the refrigerator. We went out of our way to do the right things. My kids, my 2 little ones, have never been to a MD since they were born. And I'm not anti-medical. It's just, listen, if they broke their leg or they needed stitches, I'm the first one to take them there. But the fact of the matter is that we try and tell our kids, do everything natural you can get your hands on before you just grab for the alternative. And I think it's hypocritical to tell these kids, say no to drugs, but every time they have a tummy ache, here's something from the pharmacy. Anytime they can't sleep, here's something from the pharmacy. Anytime you have a bug bite or you're itching, here, you cannot be a hypocrite about that, because kids pick it up. You can't say no to drugs and have 20 prescriptions in the medicine cabinet that they see. And, some of our friends and our patients have said, well, how do you do that and where do you start? And I always say just one step at a time. Sometimes it's the little things. Children are naive, but they're smarter and more creative than we give them credit for. And they know that if mom doesn't carry Tylenol or Advil or Motrin in her purse, and I don't just grab for that because I have a headache. If I think I have a headache, I need to drink some water, or maybe I went too long between the last meal. If I try the natural things first, your kids are going to try it. And I knew that. I knew when we were catching on, when my younger kids went to stay with their aunt for a couple of days, and they had went to the grocery store with her, and her kids were picking out, the naughty cereal off the shelf. And I think my daughter was about 5 years old, and she told her aunt, you can't get this, we can't eat this. And her aunt said, well, why not? And she says, well, look on the label, it has BHT in it, or BHQ, those are preservatives, we're not supposed to eat this. And my sister-in-law was, oh, I can't believe your 5-year-old's lecturing me in the grocery store. And I was never so proud of my kids. I thought, you know what, they're getting it. They're getting it by example. And, it's not to say that if we go to the movies, listen, my kids can have popcorn and we're going to share a soda. You know, it's not to say that you can never, but moderation means moderation. And, you know, like I tell them on the weekends, if, you know, we're going to go out for ice cream or we're going to do something fun or there's a splurge, that's fine. Because if you restrict them too much, then sometimes they boomerang like Breacher's kid. They don't know how to discipline themselves. So we try and teach them how to discipline themselves. Monday through Thursday, it's spot on. And on the weekends, you can relax a little. You can do your own thing. And, you know, our kids have learned that, you know, if you don't feel good, look to something natural to make yourself feel better. Our two youngest ones, which are 11 and 15, have never had an antibiotic. And, you know, that is because if they start to, if they don't feel good, if they start to get sick or anything, they know first, they will go in the kitchen, they will pull a clove of garlic, they will slice it up, and they will take it themselves because they know, they've been taught that garlic is one of the best natural antibiotics you can get your hands on. And it's like, you know, when my daughter was at camp, she had a headache and she wasn't feeling good, getting a stuffy nose. They took her up to the little camp nurse and the lady goes to hand her a Tylenol. And my daughter was 11 years old and first thing out of her mouth was, "You can't give me that. I've never taken one of those before. We don't take medicine unless it's an emergency. I need to call my mom." And they let her call home and she said, "Mommy, what do I do?" I said, "Have them take you to the kitchen. Ask the cook for some garlic. I want you taking garlic twice a day. You'll feel better in a day or two. Just take it every day till you get home." When she got home, she said she had the best time. She didn't feel bad anymore after the next day. And she was telling the adults, "Why would you take garlic? Why would you drink the water?" And, you know, I understand that not everybody's going to get it. And to some people, it may seem a little extreme. But to the ones that get it, it will change their lives. I guarantee you my kids are less likely to go out there and take some chemical substance, whether it's illegal or legal, without thinking about it. Because everything has a side effect. Everything man-made, everything that comes from the pharmacy has a side effect. And we just live in a society where, you know, like it or not, how many people actually read the side effects? How many people know what they've stuck in their mouth and what can happen to them? I don't want my kids to be in that mix. I want to educate them as much as I can, and it's the little things. You know, you don't have to be totally strict organic, never eat fast food, never have a dessert, never drink soda, but it is limited. We don't keep soda in our house. I don't have soda in there for my kids. If we go out and about, do we splurge every once in a while? Sure. I want them to know you can do it once in a while, but I also want them to know that, you know, Lance Armstrong and these professional athletes, they don't eat fast food 3 to 4 times a week. They take care of their bodies because it's number one to them. And they eat quality food. They think about what they put in their mouths, and it's water, water, water. And so, you know, I know that if I can get them thinking about that, if you can get your kids thinking about it, and if you will walk the talk, do you take natural vitamins? Do you, you know, people spend so much money, you know, let's face it, on our Starbucks or our coffee or, you know, our splurge where we like to eat at a certain restaurant or fast food. If, you know, one time you spend that on a bottle of natural vitamins per month for your family, it's preventative care. Everything that you do now determines where you will be down the road. Everything that you teach and show your kids now is planting that seed for where they will be down the road. So it's not as hard as you think to raise healthier kids, but it does start at home. It does start with you, and the little things make the difference. It's water, water first, and buy as many good products as you can at home. Put as many natural, healthier things there for those kids to naturally grab and eat, and they're going to be the ones lecturing to their friends eventually. They'll be the ones telling them, "Don't drink the soda, and here's why." And your skin will clear up if you would drink more water. And it's just a blessing when you hear your kids start to encourage other kids. You know what? They're getting it. Whether you think it or not, they're getting it little by little. And they will be the next generation that makes a difference. So it starts at home.